Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Nico here. We are back for a new episode of Road to Masters. So let's see what we have here. We will be starting as player 4, which, as you might know by now, is probably my least favorite position. So that will be a bit of a challenge already. We have some good cards here, to be honest. In the shadows is a horrible card to get at the start. It's like outrageous to play that. No, I mean, it's definitely so strong, especially when you can use that reveal effect a few times at the start and then just get it for some influence. It's very powerful. Here we have Chomerky, which I really like, but maybe not that early game. Shuttlefleet, actually, if we can work for it, it could make sense. I mean, at this point we have to take Baron as the last player, at least having an advantage of getting the choice of the best leader, in my opinion. So let's just take him. And let's see what our opponents will be choosing. Let's have a second look a bit at that Imperium row. Yeah, to be fair, in the shadows, Gene Manipulation would be very good early game cards. Smuggler Thopter, as soon as you get that 2 influence, is really powerful as well. I mean, everything that allows you to draw 2 cards is a cycling machine. So yeah, that's very useful. And here we go. So our master stroke, nothing surprising there. We just take what we need to take to hope for interstellar shipping and siege double unlocked as early as possible. This is actually an insane conflict to get as Baron, and now the only thing we hope is that no one goes to Hardy Warriors round 1, because we will definitely want to go there and lock in that second influence point with the Spacing Guild, which would really be very powerful at this stage. But let's see if Beast and Tessia allow us to get there. I strongly hope so, but to be fair, if I were in their position, I would definitely prevent the Baron to go there turn 1, especially when the rewards are that attractive, because you kind of want to try and cripple a bit the Baron's early gameplay. But let's see. Being the Baron now, obviously, I would hope they don't. And now is the moment of truth. Oh, seems Tessia is having some connection issues, which is never great. We obviously prefer playing against human players rather than AI, but it happens. Probably means the suspense will go up to the last moment. Oh, she's back, so maybe she'll still be able to make her own decision as to where to send that agent. Still hoping it's not going to be Hardy Warriors, but let's see. And it's not. Perfect. So let's log it in now. Let's not leave it to anyone else for next turn. And let's engage to the fullest extent. Master stroke unlocked. That's the most basic Baron play, I know, but it's obviously for a reason that it is so basic. It's because it's so powerful to be able to unlock already Siege Tab on turn 1. You get that water easily now, you have 2 accesses. And what is quite underrated as well is to be able to have an access like that. Let's almost call it a private access, given that the other players will probably take around 2 or even 3 to be able to unlock that one. So that is a spot that I know will not be blocked by my opponents for at least 1 or 2 rounds. So that always gives me a free spot, let's say, to go, and an uncontested spot, let's call it, which is really underrated. Actually, no one went to false space until now. Obviously, what triggered my reaction is the fact that he needed to use the dispatch and envoy to send one there. Does that mean that none of our opponents had any faction access this round, which would be quite crazy, and which will probably mean it will be a busy faction turn next round. Which is actually also very good for us that he spent that intrigue card. We don't really need to think more about what he might have in his locker. That's actually not ideal for us, because given our cards and the fact that we spent our water, we cannot send any more agent. We have to fully rely on that dagger to do the job. And I have nothing to do actually. So, I mean, in the end, it's not a bad thing to reveal early now. Gives us 2 very good cards. I won't count on the fact that we win that conflict, so I won't take Smuggler Thopter yet. I'd rather go with a couple of Bene Gesserits here, especially given their utility. Let's still hope that Tessia doesn't have any dagger, although quite unlikely. She drew cards. I mean, worst case, being second is not that bad. Having 3 Solari is already a good way to Swordmaster, but definitely, I mean, having that second influence with Spacing Guild on round 1 would just be so powerful. What did they reveal actually? And that's 1 dagger, so we are drawing. That's not great. Yeah, none of them had any faction access. That's crazy. Yeah, Tessia ruining a bit our plans, but I mean, that's also how we like it, right? A bit of challenge, even early game. Although, obviously, winning that conflict would not mean anything in terms of chances of winning at the end of the game, but yeah, still quite interesting. So yeah, as predicted now, most likely everyone will be quite busy with the factions as well. Let's see what Tessia does. I would expect her to go still to smuggling, recall, be able to get that Swordmaster round 2, which is a very powerful feat. Apparently not, which I don't mind. I will go there for sure with the Signet. And let's get an intrigue card out of it. Oh, I love receiving an endgame card at the very start of the game, being able to plan for it and treat it a bit like a side quest during the game. It's very useful, and I think this one especially, which you really need so many conditions to trigger those victory points. It's so frustrating to receive it at the end of the game, and it's equally pleasing to get it at the start. So let's try to make it happen. So let's see what Tessia does. She obviously had to burn all her troops last round to just equalize with us. Although now Hardy Warriors is a bit of a way of getting there. Seems like she's listening to our video, because I was saying we would have Siege Tower for free for 2 or 3 rounds for ourselves. Seems she just wanted to prove me wrong here. Interesting. So she revealed 1 dagger last round. Did she play one actually? I don't think so, right? She played 2 combat spaces to be able to deploy that many troops last round. Let's still double check what she revealed. I think it was, yeah, 1 dagger for sure, because that's what she used to equalize. And before that she used a Dune and Signet Ring. So she has 1 dagger in hand. So best case, if we use Reconnaissance, we can equalize as well and just deny her any potential win, which we might do actually. Although that would lead us actually to just 1 persuasion, which is not great, and 2 at least allow us to get an Arrakis liaison. Then again, right now, my Sikh allies, I can only use it to secrets, which I don't really want to do, so I think it will have to be a Reconnaissance. Get a bit of water, maybe an intrigue card actually. I'm a gambler, so intrigue card is always something I find very attractive. And yeah, let's jump in. Five agents on faction boards on round 2. That's also quite unheard of. Oh wait. Oh right. Yeah, that's actually something I didn't think of. But given she drew a card last round, she actually remixed her deck to draw another one, and apparently she drew a dagger out of it. So quite a lucky shot there, but obviously something I could have thought about. But that's just gonna be a misplay, and that actually prevents us from getting an Arrakis liaison as well, which is not the end of the world. We purchased 2 good cards last round, so kind of made up for that bad persuasion we had this round. Let's just pretend, bluffing a bit, pretending we think about it. Now let's give her the win. They obviously don't know what our intrigue cards are. Could think it's a combat one. Although, I mean, anyone sane would probably have played it now to win that conflict. But let's still play a bit with the nerves. And that's 1 combat card that could have been useful right now. We will leave it to where it is. So Tessia chose to go up twice, which is interesting, because right now she could have gotten her Swordmaster had she just gone up and down, but she probably plans on going to smuggling. Or at least that's what I would be doing, and I kinda hope she doesn't, so that we can go there. But let's see. Otherwise, obviously, that pile of spice here on Haga Basin would be very, very interesting for us. So she chooses the pile of spice, which also makes sense, for sure. Oh, and we actually don't have a dagger to go to Swordmaster turn 2, which is really annoying. And we have so many accesses to the land slot. I mean, at some point it's just annoying. Now most likely still gonna go to smuggling, but the question is if we should just go one up. Or is false space maybe an idea as well? I would bet on the fact that false space will still be open for my next agent. And no, let's get ready for that Swordmaster. And worst case, if false space is taken, maybe a wealth could also make sense, just to get some Solari to try and prepare for both Swordmaster and High Council. Given High Council has obviously most of its value as well quite early as possible, and it will be one of the requirements we target for our Grand Conspiracy. Interesting call, actually. Why did she use a Smuggler Scepter to come here if she doesn't have the bonus? Because on reveal it's 1 spice, so... Or does actually that spice on reveal, would it also make her draw? No, it's about harvesting spice. So no, she would actually just get it. Not sure about that play then. And that's a shuttle fleet for Tessia. And Beast apparently really wishing to keep his monopoly of interstellar shipping. My idea now actually would be almost to just go to Hardy Warriors, getting a bit of spice, potentially an intrigue card, in which case we would use Master Tactician just to make sure we have security in terms of not overshooting that threshold. But I think I quite like this plan. Brings us also a bit closer to an alliance here and to that first faction where we would have a 4+ influence level threshold. But let's see. Let's send in both. Troop transport obviously most likely will be picked up by Beast, probably even right now, which will lead him to 6 in the conflict. So that's not great for us, because we can't get to that first spot we thought we would be getting with just 2 troops. So now Tessia also has 8 Solari, Beast has 9, so our priority next round will definitely be Swordmaster before anything else. And other than that, I mean, let's see what we have, but playing diplomacy, signaturing could be of interest. Gene manipulation, I mean, trashing is always good, but let's see if we might want to use those two persuasion for something else. That's a Chris knife. Unfortunately, we don't have any Fremen, although that reveal effect is also quite useful, but I think we will favor the Bene Gesserit right now. Or actually the negotiated withdrawal could be an idea as well. I think for the persuasion and for the acquisition effect right now, getting a troop in there makes sense. Yeah, Beast actually just recalled and went back there, which kind of makes sense to be fair. Oh, and that's a Guild Bankers. Probably gonna be picked up now. It is a very popular card, and rightly so. That reveal effect, diabolical. So there is nothing we can do. But 2 spice is still something we will not reject. So now we don't even need to think about where to go, but maybe which card to use for it. I think it will be the signet ring, because I'd like to play diplomacy with my second agent. Oh, actually I'll have a third one. So maybe it will rather be a dagger now, then we have diplomacy and signet ring for our second and third agent. What do we have in our deck? Oh, maybe we'd like to try and draw some of that to get it out of the way for next round. Let us see. Maybe a signet ring to Imperial Basin could make sense, just to pick up that extra spice. I mean, if we can, obviously. Oh yeah, right, Tessia is playing, so yes, we can. And then maybe diplomacy to conspire, just to get a bit that garrison up, to get some Solari for a Dreadnought, for a High Council that we so badly need for that. I think I'd like that. And maybe we actually take that card, and worst case we just make a calculated higher. If we cannot play that card, we just... So we cannot play it indeed. So let us just do that. Because last thing we want is to be robbed of that card. So we still have enough spies to go to conspire. We have 2 agents, which we can make use of, to be fair. twin diplomacy and maybe gene manipulation to trash a dagger is not the worst thing. Still the same techs, yeah. Only one has been picked up by Tessia, the shuttle fleet. Actually going to conspire might be risky now that I think of it, because that fourth intrigue card, actually we can do that as the last agent. We first go with gene manipulation to a combat space, enter the combat, and then we can go to diplomacy here, knowing that no one else has agents, and that we will be able to play one of our combat card, even if it's just to burn it in the combat. So I think that could make sense, because I really want that Solari to get the high council and the dreadnought quite quickly to get a bit of progression for that grand conspiracy. Because obviously those Landsrat spaces, best is to visit them before the important conflicts that arise in round 7 and later, given those are non-combat spaces, so it's a bit yeah, it's better to prepare and anticipate a bit there. So it's a second tech taken by Tessia. Invasion ships, that's one that I really like as well. Let's see if at some point we can maybe get to it. But right now, let's actually, we could go to, yes, let's draw one of those cards. Or should we get a water? Getting a water could actually make sense to go back to Hardy Warriors at some point, lock in that alliance. But then again, those cards we have in our hand, in our next hand, I want to get one out of the way. Let's draw first. A dagger. Trashing will be something that we have here. And we send in. So Beast doesn't have any intrigue cards. I think one troop will be enough. I mean, it's not like we absolutely need to win the conflict. And we have intrigue cards. I mean, I could even play second wave in case and not master tactician instead, and still send that troop in. But let's see. He will reveal first before we get to play that agent. But it's pretty set for us. Most likely we will be willing to go to conspire with it. 11 persuasion. That's actually quite impressive. Oh yeah, she kinda played everything persuasion related this turn, so. I mean, typically we could also go to fall space, get that second influence. The thing is, it loses a bit its value now because we won't be first player before a long time, and we have Tessia and Beast before us that have the ability to go there, so we can kind of forget going there for a while. I mean, one of them will most likely pick up Swordmaster, but the other one, I mean, will most likely go to interstellar shipping before anything else. Especially if we take it now, they will see that it's a contested spot, so I think we just go to conspire. So they both have 6, which is interesting. So if we needed any extra motivation to get a seat on the High Council, here it is. And actually we will play both. Most likely, unless we just want to bring everyone at 6. could actually be an idea. Menta, another intrigue card. Yeah, I think we can go for... None of them have intrigue cards, so we can really just play them safely. And we don't need to deploy anything else. And we leave them with just 2 Solari. Denying each of them an intrigue card is also a bit of a plus, to be honest. And an ambush, which is very good. I don't mind having a combat card in my hand just to avoid something like round 1 where we unfortunately lost on our ability to get an early interstellar shipping. But I think up to now we kind of made up for it. So, first thing first is we have 4 agents and only 3 cards with agent icons, so we kind of need to do something about that. And kind of hope that we don't get the In the Shadows as next card to draw, because that's not really one I want to draw unless we go to secrets, but then we kind of put ourselves in a complicated spot with our intrigue cards. So now one thing I'd like to do is High Council or Dreadnought. I think High Council could make sense based on how much persuasion we have right now. Oh, and that's Tomerky gone. She kept her 4 intrigue cards, which is, to be honest, very tempting to just go to secrets. The only thing is then we will overshoot by 2. One of which we should be able to play before the end of this round if they leave us the High Council, which is not entirely sure. So let's maybe start with the High Council and see from there. If next round she still has those 4 intrigue cards, we might really want to start considering going for that. Although, problem with going to High Council with our signaturing is that we don't have any other way of drawing cards after that, meaning... Oh wait, no, we will have one, because we will have the High Council seat to go to selective reading with diplomacy. But what will we trash from there? Because our discard pile is empty. That's actually not great. That's not ideal. Should we draw a card with Arakin? How many chances do we have? We have quite a lot of Landsrad access, so we could gamble on that. Thing is, those gambles never go right, but I mean, let's still try it. Oh, and it did not go right. But maybe... Oh, why did I do that? Oh, I did it by reflex, to be fair. That was such a bad play. Let's hope they didn't pick up on that, because right now, with both me and Ariana having 4 intrigue cards, that means someone going to secrets gains 3 intrigue cards. 1 from here and 2 stolen. That's actually a very bad play. So she doesn't go to to secrets and burns one of her intrigue cards, which makes secrets a bit less of an interesting play for anyone else. Although, to be honest, it's still a very interesting thing to do, to just steal one from your opponent. Thankfully, Beast doesn't. Beast steals our planned alliance. I think at this point we go to secrets just to try and ensure no one else comes, because right now there's no way we get two spies to... I mean, even it's too powerful to just burn. This is very powerful, especially like now knowing that a beast is in front of us here, and just overall having 2 or 3 agents here, paying 2 spies to gain 1 influence everywhere is such a powerful tool. So let's not try and burn that. And let's just go to secrets ourselves. Goodness me, a lot of unusable cards for us. So we are not really in a great spot right now, although we might still in the end win that conflict. Seems like it, given Beast doesn't have an intrigue card, which is good for us, and we still have 2 agents, so let's just hope Tessia leaves those triangles open, because that's basically the only things we can do, which is really not great. I mean, look at all those Landsrad access we have here, and we still didn't pick up any. Because right now, a Dreadnought, a High Council, all of that would be of so much value for us. Oh, and the Shifting Allegiance popping up. It's a very interesting one. So basically, having all those alliances taken, our ideal play at some point would be to be able to come to the Freeman and to the Bene Gesserit and play this quid pro quo, which would basically allow us to sneak on these 2 players and get those alliances. But let's see. I mean, at this point we don't have much of a choice. Let us just do what we can. Give the Ambassador, quite a useful card. Unfortunately, that alliance is already quite hard for us to access. At this point we won't burn ambush. I mean, if we were able to play 2 cards and get down again to the desired number of intrigue cards, we would be doing it for sure. But given we can't, let's at least, let's say, dilute the 1 card we absolutely need to be able to keep, and the other one which we would also really like to be able to play at some point in the future. To be fair, at this point I think this or this could be stolen. I mean, I hate getting robbed of cards, but at some point for us it's kind of impossible to get back to 3 right now, so it will most likely happen. So now obviously we have all those Landsrad accesses, which we hope will be available to us. I think I'd like to play in the shadows, to just discard a card and maybe go up go up with the Spacing Guild. Well, it seems that alliance gets less and less likely to be stolen, especially given the fact we don't have any access to go there right now. And we only have diplomacy, actually. Is it our only faction access all in all? Yes, it seems so. So thankfully we still have In the Shadows that allow us to somehow get some more influence with other factions, but it's not great. What is also useful with playing In the Shadows is that Gene Manipulation will have that little combo with the Bene Gesserit card. Oh, and that's another very expensive tech taken by Tessia. And right before round 7, being able to increase the garrison to that point is actually so powerful. What kind of tech do we have now? Restricted Ordnance. Flagship obviously would also be very powerful, but Restricted Ordnance could make sense for us, given our intentions to go to the High Council right now. Let's just discard a dagger or reconnaissance. I think anyways we don't really have much hope in terms of persuasion right now. So maybe keeping a dagger. No, let's discard it. And let's go up with, I think, the Spacing Guild, yes. Surprisingly, no one is interested in our intrigue card. I mean, I shouldn't jinx it. I'm quite happy with that. But still a bit of a surprise for me. What will Ariana be doing? High persuasion. Probably another Spice Must Flow. That would be her third. None for Beast. None for Tessia. So here we could get 2 more spies to have 3. But with 3 we don't buy more than that Minimic film. So maybe we just buy the Minimic film and are left with 1 spice. The thing is, it kind of uses one of those intrigue cards that I'm happy to have just as a dilution right now, in case someone still has a brilliant idea of stealing us. But then again, oh wait, no, going with Gene Manipulation gives me 2 spice. This gives me another 2 spice, so I would have 5 actually. Do I want to take a Restricted Ordnance? Right now it will be useless, because I mean, even if I go on a combat space, I get to 4, maximum 8 with that Restricted Ordnance. So maybe I don't really want to spend that spice given I have other uses for it in my hand. I mean, that allied armada, that quid pro quo that I really want to use. So let's just come and buy at least one dreadnought before round 7. Let's trash. Let's trash a dagger. And do we want that minimic film? Yes, it could still be useful at the end when you're just missing one persuasion. I mean, to be honest, right now it's a bit of a FOMO, but it happens so many times when one of those end rounds you have like 8 persuasion and you just wished there was a way for you to get one more to buy a spice must flow. So let's just take it to not regret it later. What is there to buy? A holo projector. We could actually still secure Imperial Basin by just spending those 2 spies, committing, let's say, the dreadnought and actually even the troop potentially, and sending in those 7, 11, but that could be such a powerful move next round. Then again, am I confident I will still have those cards next round? It might just be safer to burn them this combat, or at least one of them. I mean, so basically 2 spies, and then I still need to burn one of my cards. But 12, just 12. At this point, actually, let's just make a meme and go to Carthage and and get like 6 intrigue cards. Could actually be worth it just to have some fun. It actually gives us as well a Solari, having the control of it. Oh, plans within plans, and we're actually not that badly on the way for that. So let's actually go serious. Let's do it. So we do this, and then we have 7 plus 4, 11, so we get to 16. So yes, we can make it. It will send away our dreadnought for round 7, which I don't like. It will lead me to just having 1 troop for round 7, which I don't like. It's completely against my usual principles of preparing as well as possible for those high value conflicts. But we have a bit of a special situation here. Kinda need to get them out of the way to make sure we can keep our 2 endgame cards. Try to play for those, maybe ignore a bit those conflicts and hope that they don't get to 10 victory points too early so that we can really get the most out of those endgame cards. Oh, that's actually a brilliant card for us. Gives us a bit of influence where we don't necessarily plan on going back. So that would be really good. That's not too bad for us. I mean, just keeping them busy maybe of like fighting there. Although it gives a strong incentive to Beast to go to Hayliner next round, but I guess it's not the worst if he wins the conflict, given he's the lowest in terms of victory points. So let's see. We will definitely take light kind here, giving us that little influence that we now really need. I think by playing this card right, we can make it work quite easily. Oh, but we don't have a faction alliance. Again, that's not ideal, but let's still play that one. Let's take that second water, given what we committed. I mean, we didn't commit that much, but at least we have a chance of next round getting back to normal by using Crit Proco. Maybe a bit earlier than expected, just to make sure we don't get robbed. But let's see, we kind of need at least... Well, actually we need diplomacy. Oh, light kinds actually can also help us now with the faction access. But we need the faction access to be able to play it for something. Oh, light kinds is here. We could actually fight for that conflict, given that we have some water, can go to hardy warriors. We have actually our Bene Gesserit combo again, which I'd like to play to be able to again get a bit of influence here, probably with the Emperor, or maybe with the Spacing Guild. Or actually to steal the Freeman alliance. It could be a play, but in that case I would probably need to keep it one round. So basically now playing light kinds to hardy warriors. Keep it and really hope that no one goes to secrets, because that could actually ruin the game. So maybe I should still play it and go up here, see what Beast is doing, because he's kind of threatened on two fronts, and then next round be able to, with the in the shadows. Yeah, because in the end, even if he protects it here and I don't get it, well, at least my main objective of burning one while still getting a bit of use out of it is fulfilled. So it's not my main. Obviously gaining that alliance would be huge for me, but we have higher priorities, and let's still try to fight for that, because I think it would give us that second alliance with that second faction where we would have 4 influence somewhere, which is obviously one of the criteria for Grand Conspiracy. So let's do this. It's obviously not how I would have liked to use it. I would have preferred having maybe 2 or even ideally 3 agents there on different factions, but sometimes you have to prioritize, and right now obviously main priority was to keep those 2 endgame cards here. But let's see, if Beast doesn't go here, he's gonna regret it, because we will be able to steal it from him. Although it puts us a bit behind in terms of plans within plans, because we need to get those 3 factions one bump. But I mean, if we win the conflict, it will only be 2 factions. So let's see. Basically depends on Beast. We will also need to buy a Spice Must Flow. Having 2 water for that is very helpful, obviously, but given in the shadows we will most likely not attempt to get one this round. It will certainly be a priority for next round though. And we should be able, given the persuasion we have in the deck, we should be able to do it. Okay, so he chose Freeman. which is obviously not the best for us, but at least it will allow us to focus on plans within plans now. See, where should we get it actually? With Spacing Guild, I think it makes most sense, so that if we win that conflict, we can go up here and contest that alliance from Tessia. But where should we actually go within the shadows? I think it's another dreadnought for us. Ah, we don't have the Solari. So maybe we go to... Ah, no. I want that Solari from Carthage, but I don't want to get back in the position where we have 4 intrigue cards. We could play Dune the Desert to just get 1 Solari, and next round we could play Interstellar Shipping, but there's no deck I want to buy, so it's not very useful. I will do 1 Interstellar Shipping for sure, just to get 1 bump here, but is it really useful right now? Oh, that spice is actually also very attractive, but burning that water we cannot afford right now. We need the water for a research station. And I'd like to play In the Shadows and Gene Manipulation. So is it a research station actually? Let's actually take it. Let's try. I think it can be worth it. Let's draw all those cards quickly. Ah, diplomacy. Let's discard Connaissance and go up. No, with Spacing Guild. So now we have 9 persuasion. Hurts a bit to have drawn that diplomacy, because obviously I'd like to use it to get some persuasion somewhere, given it's our some influence somewhere. Sorry, given it's our only faction access with Lied Kinds, which is in our play area here. But obviously now Freeman is not of much use for us. It's really about those 3, so it's really just about diplomacy. But I cannot really play it because we need to stay at 9 persuasion. So now the one I can play is Bene Gesserit Initiate. Oh, and actually drawing that negotiated withdrawal could actually help, because if we get to win that conflict and negotiate a withdrawal, we get a 2 bump somewhere, and we could actually steal an alliance, for instance, either with the Bene Gesserit or with the Emperor, or we could get our endgames sorted with a 4+ influence somewhere and a 3rd here, for instance, which would sort out. Well, actually we're missing, so Spice Must Flow we will have this round, but we will be missing a 2nd dreadnought. So let's actually try to get to that negotiated withdrawal. Perfect. That's actually helpful. So for the sake of that, let's deploy that last troop. Given we want to withdraw 3 units, we would end up at 5. I think our game plan right now is not too bad. Getting a Spice Must Flow brings us to 7, then a Dreadnought next round after interstellar shipping, which will give us the Solari needed for the Dreadnought, which will also give us a little bump with the one faction. Getting first here, hopefully, plus a negotiated visual should give us that alliance from Tessia. So I think all of this can make sense. Oh, Beast comes in most likely. But we still also have the Allied Armada, which is the most powerful combat card in the end. The one that allows you to get 7 daggers, but we actually don't have the spice for it, so let us forget that. But I think, I mean, given we don't have any daggers and that Beast just equalized us, that withdrawal will come in handy. We'll just give up on the first spot. I keep forgetting about those intrigue cards as a reward. It will make us overshoot again, which is, again, the worst case scenario. Let us still retreat those 3 units and get up with, what do we have here? I think the right play would be to get up here, because diplomacy allows us to come here, and that Bene Gesserit card, of which I forgot the name, is also helpful for that. Although, and that Bene Gesserit card does not allow us to go up here. It only allows us to discard 1 card to go 1 up in any of the other. Let's actually then take a Sardaukar Legion, because that gives us an Emperor access as well. Oh no, 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 can I undo it? I'm such an idiot. I needed to buy a Spicemas Flow. I got stressed by that little noise and I didn't even think of it. Oh, please. That's a nightmare. Let's just take this. What a misplay. What a misplay. I'm doing some nightmare plays here. I'm just showing how we should not play. I don't deserve to win, to be fair, with that kind of play, but let's see. That puts us in such a bad spot, because now it denies us 1 victory point from here, and obviously that victory point we should have bought right now. And that's a game changer. That's just, I mean, at this point it's probably, that's probably the worst play I've ever done, to be fair. Let's at least hope this intrigue card is one that I can play, because we will be first players, so we're not really at risk at the start of the round. But if it's something we can't use, it's gonna again put us in a very difficult position. Okay, let's focus on the positive. At least we have a garrison, we have a dreadnought. But again, we only have combat and endgame cards, which is a nightmare at this point. I guess we'll just buy another one with the signet ring, to be fair. Let's do it. And let's afterwards actually go to secrets. Hopefully then it gives us our our second alliance, second faction with the 4th influence. And it will give us a buttload of cards. This one could actually also be quite a surprise technically if we... let's focus on what we're supposed to do right now. So we want Solari to be able to get a dreadnought here. and we want to get a bit of Emperor to at least trigger that. Hopefully we don't get robbed. But actually going here and then Dreadnought would prevent us from entering the conflict. Maybe actually selective breeding could make more sense for us to just at least get that persuasion, and this time hopefully think about it and not waste it, because technically right now we already have 9 thanks to Bene Gesserit Sister, which is not counted somehow in here. It says actually the +2 in brackets, which is helpful. Should we go to Dreadnought maybe next round? Hoping there is a next round. And trying being second place here wouldn't be the worst as well. There are so many things that are worth doing. I think we need to enter the conflict. Dreadnought will have to wait. I think right now we first go to selective breeding with diplomacy, and then reconnaissance. Hopefully we can play it if we have enough persuasion to, either Arakin if we don't have enough persuasion, or siege tab, one of the two at least. Oh, and that's the Emperor Alliance fully taken care of. So basically our demand respect is kinda useless. Change of mind. Oh, contesting that alliance is very interesting. Again, it will probably shift their focus a bit. It's actually not great because now secrets is a place of interest. I spoke too early. She locked it in, so no use for Ariana to go to secrets for that, at least. But that brings Tessia to 8 points, which is not ideal. And probably digging now for some end game cards. Surprising to play that at this point. Yeah, no, she doesn't really have any progress here. Not sure about that play. I think there is more value of actually trashing that card and sending it out and hoping for a combat card or an endgame card. And we won't have a faction alliance, so this one is useless. Let's play diplomacy to here. We have 6 intrigue cards, it's crazy. I think we will keep it just to dilute a bit with water, funnily enough. Dilute a bit those cards. And here, I think it's time to get rid of the signet ring, given we have 0 discard. And that gives us just 8. So we will need to play Bene Gesserit Initiate, hopefully to Arakin, to kinda get, hopefully, to 9 persuasion. And that's another spiciness roll. Let's just really hope that she doesn't have the corner of the market, because at this point 5 spice must flow. That's something I'm not sure I've ever seen that. That's crazy. That's basically all her points, except the base point, obviously, and 1 influence progress. Does she actually have that tech? Ah, she has Holtzman engine. I was thinking about the one that gives you as many victory points as you have 0 or 1 influence factions. Thankfully she doesn't have that. Oh, but it's not here neither. So that's good. He has flagship, right? And Tessia has... That's invasion ships, yes, and shuttle fleet. Let's see, I think we should be able to lock in a second spot here, hopefully. I mean, they still have 2 agents, so, I mean, especially Tessia, who's already in the conflict. Actually, we have already, again, I forgot, I'm like, oh, we only have 8 persuasion. No, we have the Bene Gesserit sister, so we have 10, which is good for us. And which makes this a bit less problematic for us. We will probably just go for, guess what, for the meme, another intrigue card. Or, wait, because now what we could put is, let's say Carthage. We get 2 troops plus the dreadnought, so that's 7. We have, not that, we have this, that's 12. So exactly like her. She has 1 more agent. So should we instead just go for a dreadnought, lock in that from our Grand Conspiracy? Or what do we have? Landsrad access. I've been a bit traumatized by that. Yes, we will have next round. So let's actually not. Let's do the meme play. Get another intrigue card. Oh, that's actually interesting. Let's do it. Because that we can deploy them right now as well, given we... And we can deploy another 3 troops, so we should be able to lock it in. But this time, I swear, I'm locking in the spice must flow. This one we really need to get going. Oh, he can actually buy both points with his resources, so he can get to 9 victory points. And let's see if we should play actually this card, because we can play this, and then this we won't win the conflict anyways. Private army we could play, or maybe we will even have to, and this we cannot. So actually by default there is 1, 2, 3 and 4 cards that I cannot play. It's a joke. So let's reveal. We will probably still play private army, or maybe not. I mean, if we can avoid using it, it's probably better. So here, before anything else, we get a spice must flow. So now that that is done, we can have a look. Yeah, we have to advance anyways. And we deploy 4 victory points, hopefully. So problem is we won't have diplomacy next round, because I would have really liked just locking in secrets, making sure no one else goes there. Because really, like, getting one of those 2 robbed would break our game. Oh, he's at 7, and winning that conflict means he gets 3 points, it's 10. Oh, and actually Tessia as well is at 10. So what do we have here? we have just not 2 dreadnoughts. So we have 1 victory point from here and 2 from here, so we are 10, hopefully 11. Ah yeah, she doesn't have any intrigue cards, so we will be at 11. Can we do anything about beast? No, we can't. We get to 23 actually with that. It's a shame we don't have that faction alliance. But that's just how it is. We still get to 11, so we most likely, I mean, we will beat Beast given he has 0 intrigue. We will beat Tessia given she has 0 intrigues, so it's just about, yeah, no, but she can have the maximum 2 points, I guess, from that. So I guess that's a win. Let's see. Ah, no, she can also have that card, so let's just hope that's not corner the market. And that's our scheme. Yeah, that's awesome. Finally a win with Baron in front of you guys. Although I played horrendously, to be honest. I made I think at least one, for sure, one biggest misplay ever with that Spice Must Flow, but that I think there was another misplay as well earlier, but I'll need to rewatch to see that. So yeah, let's look at those 2 little stars coming up. Finally, getting a bit closer to getting up to, what is it, afterwards, Platinum, I think. Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Don't forget on Sunday I'll be live, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like if you liked it, or comment if you see anything I've missed. And see you next time, guys. Have a good one. Bye bye.